A single mistake separated one family forever. In the rugged mountains of ancient Korea, there lived a woodcutter. He was a man with a pure heart but empty pockets, living in a small shack with his aging mother. His days followed the steady rhythm of the axe, and his nights were filled with a quiet, persistent loneliness. He longed for a family, but no woman would marry a man who had nothing to offer but the forest itself. One afternoon, while he was working deep in the woods, a frantic deer burst into his clearing. "Save me," the deer pleaded. "The hunters are coming." Without hesitation, the woodcutter pointed the deer toward a pile of logs and covered it carefully, just as a group of hunters arrived moments later. When they asked if he had seen a deer pass by, the woodcutter calmly sent them off in the wrong direction. Once the forest was quiet again, the deer emerged and revealed its true form. It was no ordinary animal, but a spirit of the forest. "You saved my life," the deer said. "In return, I will give you yours. On the night of the next full moon, go to a hidden pond deep in the mountains. Heavenly maidens will descend from the sky to bathe. Take one of their magical robes. Without it, the maiden will be forced to stay on earth, and she will become your wife." Then the deer spoke more solemnly. "Do not give the robe back until you have 3 children together. 2 is not enough. Remember this clearly. You must wait for the 3rd. On the night of the full moon, the woodcutter went to the pond. He watched as the sky seemed to open, and maidens drifted down like silk on the wind. While they bathed, he crept to the water's edge, took one of the robes, and hid it deep in the earth. When the bathing ended, the maidens put on their robes and ascended back into the sky, all except one. She stood alone, shivering and crying, unable to follow the others. The woodcutter stepped out from hiding and offered her his own clothes and a place to stay. With no other choice, she followed him. Years passed. She became his wife, and they lived happily together. They had 1 child and then a 2nd. But the woodcutter noticed how she gazed at the clouds, how her eyes lingered on the sky. He could see her spirit slowly fading from homesickness. Overcome with guilt, he convinced himself that 2 children and years of love were enough to keep her by his side. Against the deer's warning, he dug up the hidden robe and returned it to her. It was a mistake. The moment the silk touched her shoulders, her heavenly nature awakened. She lifted 1 child under each arm and rose into the sky, leaving the woodcutter reaching helplessly into empty air. Broken and desperate, he returned to the forest and found the deer once more. "I failed," he sobbed. The deer sighed. "There is one more chance. The maidens no longer bathe at the pond, but they lower a bucket on a long chain to draw water for the heavens. Go there, wait for the bucket, climb inside." The woodcutter followed the instructions. He hid until the bucket descended, then climbed in. He was pulled upward through the clouds and into the heavenly kingdom, where he was reunited with his wife and children. For a time, he lived in paradise. But as the years passed, his heart began to ache again, this time for his mother. From the heavens, he could see her sitting alone by their old shack, crying for her lost son. Seeing his pain, his wife brought him a magical dragon horse. "You may go visit her," she said, "but you must never set foot on the ground. If you touch the earth, you will never be able to return to us." The woodcutter descended to earth on the dragon horse's back. His mother was overjoyed to see him and begged him to stay for a meal. "I cannot get down, mother," he said. So she prepared a bowl of hot pumpkin porridge and handed it up to him. As he took the bowl, the steam burned his hands. He flinched, and the porridge spilled onto the horse's back. Startled, the dragon horse reared up. The woodcutter fell, landing hard on the ground. Freed from its burden, the horse bolted back into the sky. The woodcutter stood in the dust of his old home, watching his family disappear forever. He lived out the rest of his days in sorrow, staring at the heavens. Legend says that when he died, his spirit became a rooster. That is why, even today, the rooster climbs to the highest place each morning, stretches its neck toward the sky, and lets out a mournful cry, still calling for the family it can no longer reach.